lesson that really has taught me very, very profoundly in this epidemic is teamwork really works, no? Our teamwork, which developed with our daily press briefing, of course, with the right strategies, intensive surveillance, we contain the area to make sure that nobody goes out, nobody comes in. People understood that. I guess the advantage that we had is we have a good epidemiologist. And since March 13, together with the DOH, together with Northern Mindanao Medical Center, I myself have learned a lot from this pandemic. I can explain to you the critical care utilization rate. I can explain the case doubling time. The people now in Cagayan de Oro and the neighboring LGUs are aware of these things. So we observe, I report these things to them and explain to them how important these data are.
Important learning this pandemic is the importance of data-driven decision-making. Another learning is that everybody should be consulted before making an important decision. COVID also enforced the philosophy that a community-based approach is one of the best options against COVID. Another community-based initiatives are successful because the community knows their role and they are the focal point of the program. To the fact that COVID is here unless we have the cure or a vaccine. We need to invest in non-pharmaceutical intervention so that people can have a better understanding of their role and responsibility in the new normal. In closing, I would like to quote Sun Tzu when he said, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting." We knew we could not win a fight against COVID on a medical level because there is no cure or vaccine. So we used what we have, which was our economy and our people. And we picked the place of the battle, a place where we know we will win. All of this while strengthening our medical capabilities.
The most important thing that I've learned throughout this whole crisis is the importance of good and effective, efficient communication and streamlining even the process of communication. Obviously, we're not perfect. We still have a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn when it comes to communication, but I'm happy to say that we've been improving, and as we improve with how we communicate within the city government and outside, to our constituents, we're able to implement our policies more effectively. We're able to implement our centralized quarantine more effectively. We're able to do contact tracing more effectively. We're able to do our testing programs more efficiently. The second thing is really as we communicate and we adapt towards the new, whatever the new policies are, let's say from the national government. Again, it's very challenging, but it really presents us with a new, a lot of different opportunities. Sabi nga nila, diba, it's not the crisis itself that will define us, but it's how we respond to this crisis.
I agree that whether it's a national ID system or a local ID system, we have to have some type of ID system. Being able to track down who needs the help the most is probably the number one thing on an agenda in a pandemic like this. Who to feed first, who to get relief first, that's the most important thing. But Malu, if I can go back to what I said a while ago, I really believe that now is the time for local governments or even the national government to strengthen its digital platform. We need to go online. This archaic thing of going to City Hall, transacting manually, going to national agencies, transacting manually, it has to come to an end. I think the pandemic is a wake-up call that when you get your driver's license, why do you have to go all the time to LTO, except of course for the actual driving? But I think you can do everything online. There has to be a systematic effort or initiative by both the national government and the local government units to go online. We have to set a deadline. We have to once and for all migrate to online platforms.
So how can we strengthen? I think really that is really the role of our federal government. And I think if you've got local connections municipally, then that's the way to go. There's things like sister cities where we've got relationships there as well. My personal hope is that we continue to be kind to each other globally, and that doesn't, those connections don't suffer. And maybe the first step is to make sure that we sustain the connections and then build stronger ones going forward.
So,
Tim?
yeah, if I could just add, I think giving us this opportunity to share our learnings, but also understand your learnings, is really the start of strengthening relationships. And if we can carry on this collaborative approach of sharing information, whether it be mayor to mayor, fire chief to fire chief, finance officer to finance officer, or any combination of such, I just think that makes us stronger, and collaboratively we can come up with the best approaches and learn from each other to combat this COVID-19.